Alright, YouTube, welcome back to the Sideline Report. And on this week in the NBA, first thing we're going to look at is Giannis and the Bucks are the real deal. I know they've kind of alternated wins and losses the last few weeks after starting 7-0, but some of those wins include against the Raptors and the Warriors and the Nuggets, three of the best teams in the league. Chris Middleton has established himself. He is an all-star player this year, especially in the East. There is no reason he should not be in there. He's averaging over 20 points a game. He's the second best player on arguably the second best team in the East. He has to be an all-star. Giannis is at that point where teams are starting to expect him to, he's kind of expected to carry his team. They start winning a playoff series, doing more. And I think he's been at his best when he is just their star player, not really their playmaker. When they have Bledsoe and Brogdon and guys like that come down and initiate the offense, let Middleton and Giannis kind of get theirs, focus on scoring. And then if it's there, they can distribute it. That's how they have been doing their best. And they shoot threes. They shoot threes absolutely fantastically. They're top 10 in every offensive category, including three-pointers made and three-point percentage. Brook Lopez just set the record for men over 7 feet in threes by hitting 8 of them. And they're surprisingly effective on defense. They're number 1 in opponents' field goal percentage right now. And like I said, that includes going against teams like the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Celtics, the Raptors. The Bucks should be the real deal, and if they stay healthy and continue rolling like this, I think they could be a force in the playoffs. Mike Budenholzer has his team playing at an outstanding level. Next, we're going to look at the big news of the week, the Jimmy Butler trade that finally took place. The Timberwolves sent Jimmy Butler to the 76ers, where they got Robert Covington, they got Dario Saric, a couple other small things, a pick here. I'm not a huge fan of the trade for both teams. The Wolves only really got 1 pick, and some of those were complimentary players too, like Covington and Saric. I would have preferred to have taken the 4 first-rounders from Houston. I know they'd probably be late picks, but look what the Celtics have done with all their picks. I think that would have been a smarter choice to kind of build like them, because you already have your cornerstone and Cat, a somewhat decent complimentary piece in Wiggins. We'll see if he starts to step up his game, but you already have your main building piece, so you don't necessarily need to have top 5 picks every time. That's what I would have preferred to do, because I don't think he's a good role player, but I don't know how well he fits with this team. Saric, I like his game. That's a pretty good fit alongside Cat. But if I'm the Wolves, I'm starting Derrick Rose, Andrew Wiggins, Robert Covington, Dario Saric, and Cat. I think that it'll get you in contention for the 8th seed, especially the way Rose has been playing. He's been absolutely fantastic. But I would have preferred building for the future if I was them. And the 76ers, well, their depth is pretty much kind of gone at this point, because you take out 2 starters to get 1, which means they have to move people around. It's not the deepest team, but they're top 5 now. Their top 5 is one of the best in the leagues when you have Simmons, Butler, and Embiid. And if Markelle Fultz can turn into even like 70% of what we had hoped, I think he's a good piece in there. We'll just have to see if he can get his game rolling. What I don't like is their defense kind of remains the same. Covington was one of the best perimeter defenders. You substitute him with Butler, who's a really good perimeter defender. But it doesn't improve their shooting a whole lot. Butler's got a decent 3-ball, but he's not known as a sniper. And he's kind of a ball-dominant type player. So I want to see how he meshes with guys like Ben Simmons, who likes to really control the ball, and Embiid, who likes to get the ball either on the post or kind of at the foul line extended and go to work. So I think they have a lot more talent than most teams in the East, but we'll see how they mesh. I didn't really care for the trade for either team. And next, the Raptors are the new Spurs. Not only do they have a few of the old Spurs players with Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, but they are playing exactly like them. The way they're moving the ball, everybody on the team seems to be able to get assists. Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green have added that extra perimeter defense that they haven't really had basically for a long time, if ever. They can shoot the ball as well. They can create their own shots. Their centers and power forwards are averaging assists while their point guards are coming on back cut. But they're the top 2 teams as far as points and field goal percentage this year, which is a lot like the old Spurs used to be, that they didn't necessarily fire threes, but they were deadly from the mid-range and down low. Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Siakam, they've all contributed heavily and stepped up their games. Siakam looks like one of the best young players coming into his own. He's top 5 in field goal percentage, averaging 15 points a game, and they put him in the starting lineup and put Valanciunas as kind of a six-man, a hybrid sort of thing where he plays a lot of minutes, but he doesn't start the game a lot. And he's one of the best centers in the East as far as just post offense as well as defending. It's kind of weird because I'm a big fan of DeMar DeRozan, but I feel like just adding Kawhi and Danny Green from that Spurs culture completely changed his team. Kyle Lowry, he was leading the league in assists for a while there too. I'm not sure if he still is off the top of my head, but I think the Raptors could be the new Spurs just the way they're playing. They've lost one game this year, and it's to those Bucks. They are 12-1. They've won 6 in a row. They've beat the Celtics, the Wizards, the Bucks. They've actually not the Bucks. Sorry, they beat the Lakers. They've beat the Kings. They play the Pelicans. They've had a pretty solid start to the season, and that's with Kawhi kind of playing every other week, just kind of not doing not every other week, every other game, and not really playing back to backs. So I think as he gets more comfortable, gets more healthy, Siakam develops, OG develops. Danny Green's been fantastic. Kyle Lowry's been fantastic. Serge Ibaka looks like the Serge Ibaka from OKC, arguably better. He kind of fell off for a couple years there, but I think he's back in his groove. So I think this Raptors team is going to be a strong contender for the East. I think they're more dangerous than the Celtics or even the Sixers at this point. And the Bucks, I think them and the Bucks are the two surprise teams in the East because we all expected them to be pretty good, but not this good out of the gate. So I'm excited to watch what the Raptors do going throughout the season. Alright, and that's all we have for this week in the NBA. Thanks for tuning in, and if you liked the video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe. Alright, bye.